I got a super powerful quick tip for you if you have a podcast and you have guests, whether it be virtual or in person. This is my podcast studio and I'm setting it up right now because I have 2 guests coming over and we have 4 cameras. I'll show you. So we got camera A, Canon C70. We got camera B, which is the EOS R6 Mark II. We got camera C, EOS R6. And we got camera 4, which is camera D, the C200. I'm turning all these on right now, getting everything up, set and ready. Getting everything set and ready. Each camera has its own dedicated channel strip. So it's got its own power and HDMI wireless there. And we're running off the road. What is this? The Podcaster with the A10 Mini. So that's too much information, tech head. Here's my tip. Get your stuff ready way in advance. I'll tell you a quick story. My friend Rob, he was in the video business for years, wedding videos, commercials, audio, sound, all of it. And I hired him one time because we were doing a podcast. I had a high-profile guest flying in from out of town. I was like, we got to get this podcast. You're going to love what I'm about to tell you. I got to get my studio ready. I got to get the lighting dialed in. I got to get the background. I got to get, he goes, all right, when's the podcast? I'm like, okay, Saturday night. He goes, all right, I'll see you. I think it was Tuesday. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Why don't you just come over like Saturday during the day for a couple hours? He goes, well, that's not going to give us enough time. I'm like, what are you talking about? So he comes over. Bro, we spent, I think, 2 whole days just dialing in, and I paid him. The studio, the sound, the lighting. Listen to what I'm about to say. And then it was a total of 14 and a half hours. Like, we are stopping, getting food, coming back, just dialing in and making it perfect. So when now you don't have to do this. So when the guest shows up, everything is 100% ready to go. All you got to do is just make sure they're framed up properly, their levels aren't peaking. Get them acquainted with the podcast environment, go get some food, and come back and rock. Ready to go. It's already ready. You don't have your guests come and be like, oh, just hold on for an hour while I tweak. Oh, the SD chip isn't formatted. Oh my God, I've been through all that shit. That's a way to have your guests be like, oh my, it's not professional. I didn't know that. Right? For 14 and a half hours, you might be thinking, what did you possibly have done? What I learned from my friend upgraded my whole shit. Check this out. And I'll succinctly run you through it. In the cameras, what the cameras can see as I'm turning all these on. Let me just get them going. I'll give you a little. See how here you can see. All right, you see on the studio, that's like a booth, a voiceover booth. See the handle on the booth? It's kind of shiny and reflective. It's not too much. I don't really care. But like, oh, you see that little bit of white on the bottom left hand of the screen? What is that? Oh, that's the reflector that bounces just a little bit light up in our faces. That shouldn't be in the screen. I don't have this hooked up yet because I'm in the middle of doing this. So we're going to want to frame it up better. Or move that thing back. What's that thing doing in the way? Now let's look again. I'm not going to do this for an hour, but I'll just show you some. Is that out of the way? Oh, okay, now it's gone. What's the next thing we see in the frame? Those laptop, the laptop wires all over the place. Get these out of the frame. Do I even need the laptop in the frame? I actually don't for this podcast, so we're going to get the laptop completely out of the frame to clean up the frame. Oh, it's a little cleaner now. Oh, I don't like the way that the wires are coming off the back of the podcast thing here. Oh, because they're still connected to the laptop. Oh, okay. Let's just get rid of that. So that's when I do live streaming. Now let's see. What are we looking at now? What else is in that frame? Yeah, I don't really like the way the plant is too close. It's masking. Let's move that plant out of the way. But actually, I just realized I'm going to be sitting here in the blue chair and my guests are going to take the couches. So I'm going to want to actually pull this whole thing over here. And I'm going to have the A10 because I'm going to be switching because I don't have a producer. Let's see that. Do I even want the podcast thing in the frame? Well, I'm going to have 4 cameras. Oh, look out over there. The plant isn't positioned right. Oh, there's a little tiny cable. You can see underneath the chair, or this or that. Like, obviously you can see all those cables, right? But I'm going to try to disguise them. So you go through all 4 cameras, and you're going to pull all this shit up on a monitor. Let me see if I could pull anything up right now. I don't have anything on. So you're going to pull it up on a monitor, and you're going to look at what the final end viewer is going to see. Rob, you going like a maniac. Oh, this laptop's a little shiny. Move it to the left. Grab a little microscopic piece of electrical tape and run it across this to get rid of that glare. Look at this. The light up in the sound booth. We cut a little piece of cardboard and we put it there because the light was shining into the cameras and causing a little bit of a glare effect. There was all this cream colored foam that happened to be on the back wall. Let me show you. All over the place. We can't see it from the cameras on this side. And it looked like crap, so we ripped it all down and we just put dark colors so it doesn't draw the eye too much. Oh, here's another thing. This white light was too bright back there, so we put a blue gel and a little bit of tape just so it looks a little cleaner in the frame, because this is a big goofy looking studio booth. The plant, it looked a little weird against the wall, so we installed a light to shine only for that plant. So the leaves reflect, so it's obviously a plant, and we put a blue gel on it, so it's like, I can talk about this for hours, 14 hours. Oh, this picture is a little tiny bit off. The more and more and more. This plant needs to be slightly rotated. It's too close to the guitar. The screen on the TV is too bright. We need to turn it down. The waffle grid on the lighting, it's reflecting and spilling onto the back wall. This light is too highlighting on the shoulders and blowing it out. On cutting so the person is, oh, this light needs, dude, 14.5 hours of refining and refining and refining and refining and refining and refining and refining to the point where I was like, dude, it's good enough. You're insane. And as we kept going and going and going and going, I kept learning more and more and more that when you set up a set, check this out. See this here, but inside of the frame, this little table, I might actually run up and get another one of these tables to match there real quick for this podcast today, so I'm gonna have to go. There's those little coasters because my last guest put his drink on there. But it's set up so inside of the frame, that little jack, I think it's called a wooden jack, it's just like a little decoration. It fits from what the camera can see perfectly, like between the plant. The way it looks on camera, like everything, I can't explain it without showing you later on, but these little micro adjustments make the set cleaner and cleaner and cleaner so that the viewer can relax and just listen and watch the content and not be distracted. Oh, look at that little cable going underneath the chair, or look in the background, that thing. So I'm passionately excited and obsessed about this. Here you go. Back wall. It's a bunch of storage stuff in my studio. Is all this kind of fake artificial grass. This was all white before, because this happens to be, the studio has a door. So I put that, I spent like $350 just putting this grass to darken it up so it just kind of evens out the whole appearance of the studio so it doesn't draw your attention, and that reflected too much light. I couldn't control the lighting. Man, I could make videos about the sound diffusion panel so much. Anything you want to know, this is my obsession. And let me know in the comments below. Peace.